All right, and we're back live. I'm gonna try this one more time. If it don't work the way here, I'm gonna switch out the mic to a different mic. If that don't work, then we're just gonna have to do it um, through pre-recorded video, which means I will record a video and you can watch it that way. Still, I'm trying to go live with you right now, though, right? But we're having some technical difficulties because we're out here traveling. We're not in our element. I'm not in office, so we don't know what we are work with. So again, shout out to the people coming in from work, going out to work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs and all these things. Maybe I should have my phone. Maybe I should be looking at my phone to see if I'm actually sounding off on the phone. All right. Great goodies, can you hear me? Kataja Empress, can you hear me? Because if you can't hear me, I could switch the mic out and try it that way. Sound, sound, sound good, sound good. All right. If at any point the sound stops, please let me know. Because that's what happened just now. The sound was good when we first started, and then the sound chip out. All right, so you can hear me now. All right. I feel out of element, man. I'm out of my space, but to work with me still, right? And I appreciate that. So again, shout out to the people going out to work and the people coming in from work, and extra special big up. Shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms and pops, and my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round long distance drivers. Shout out to the crossing guards, school teachers. Shout out to law enforcement personnel, medical field personnel. Shout out to the good, clean-hearted people them who want good for others as much as you want good for yourself. You're a good person. Shout out to you. I put a video up yesterday on the channel, and the video is from my other channel. Um, you might see content from my other channel appearing on this channel because I'm traveling and I don't have access to my other channel because my channels them have like multiple layers of security where you have to go through. And for some reason, they won't give me access to my second channel, but I have all this content. So I'll just be uploading it to this channel instead in the meantime. So if you see videos saying BrainFlow TV, BrainFlow TV, Hot Topics TV, then it's all content owned by SouFLoTV TV anyways. Somebody said in the comment section yesterday, BrainFlow TV, SouFLoTV TV, Hot Topics TV, all three in one. And a person answered that and said, yeah, because him greedy and love money. No, but yes, all of the above, right? We won't even go down that road this morning still. Work where I work. Anyhow, here we are on this beautiful morning. Today is the 11th of the 6th, and I'm happy to be here. I'm feeling good, healthy, strong, out here getting to it. Please, if at any time the sound chips out, please let me know. Also, based on the topic I'm about to do this morning, I really thought really hard about this. Like, should I leave the chat open? You know, me and my wife did a discuss, and I was like, I can't do free stuff for the people who are not members, names in green. So our first live couldn't be free for everybody because the incentive to have this chat right here with your name in green is that you get first dibs on everything, right? So we can't just open up the chat the first time we go live after we miss Friday. The people them never get there. It's the freaking weekend, baby. Them never get that. And then Monday, we didn't start off the week together. So I can't just show up and just be like everybody for free. So here we are, and I have to give it to the people in green. It's an extra layer of support that I super appreciate. And I have to show that I super appreciate it. Then I forget something different from the rest, right? Right. So Kaitaja Empress says, but who's putting in the work on all those channels? Shouldn't they get paid for it? That's not how our people think. That's the that's not how our people think. Now, watch. Kaitaja Empress with people, a lot of them are warped. Not all of them. Some of us are conscious minded and we know say hard work deserve pay. But some of them, they just sit on the side, watch your pocket, and they think they have figured out the right amount and just throw shade and jealousy. You know what's funny? We're not gonna spend long on that this morning because these two topics are enough to take us through about 2 hours this morning. Plus, I want to vibe with you this morning. But you know what's funny? What's funny is if you build a blueprint to do something, a lot of these people that hate on you, if you actually sit them down and walk them through the blueprint, you know what they end up saying? Lads, that sounds like too much work, yeah, man. they won't even go through it. That sounds like too much work, yeah, man. But they'll still watch you do it and and watch you make something of it. When they could have, you give them the key if you open the door and everything, they just won't put the key in the door, open it, and go in. But big up to all of the people, them regardless. Everybody plays their role in creation. That's one thing I'm getting to realize. Haters have to hate. Supporters will support. Good people with high vibrations will gravitate towards good people with high vibration. And low vibrational people are necessary as well. You have people in creation who are here just to show us what never to become and what not to do. And then you have people in society or in life who are here to show us a better example, a shining example, something we can emulate, follow, and build ourselves up as well. So I don't have no hate for nobody. Everybody just have play them part. And whatever your part is, continue playing your part. I don't know how you feel comfortable playing your part as a hater on somebody who is working hard at being productive and progressive. But that's probably the reason why you yourself is not being productive and progressive, because you're wasting your time hating on productive, progressive people. But that goes for all of us, not true? In our life. Anyhow, people really have time to watch someone else money like yes, yes, they do. Big, big. I get tons of these comments and it's weird. It's weird. But we keep on trucking on. Here we are this morning. The two main topics we want to talk about this morning, right? One is Tory Lanez. If you don't know who Tory Lanez is, Daystar Peterson, then you might be an elder who is not in touch with the gap of the generations. You might want some, but I'll explain to you in a minute. So Tory Lanez's wife has filed for divorce. And then we have the Vybz Kartel situation, which is like the hottest topic right now coming out of Jamaica, because finally the day is here where Vybz Kartel, who has been incarcerated for about 12 years now, he but sentenced 10 years ago to a life sentence. He will hear by the end of this week, I believe it's by the 16th, if he will walk out of prison or if he will continue to be incarcerated and what the Jamaican government is going to cook up. But this is a really, this is no just look at it and just come up with something. This is a real maze, a maze, which I will walk you through this maze because I have 10 speaking points. 10? About 10 speaking points that I think is very important for everybody to know, to understand. Now, before we go into the Vybz Kartel stuff, let's clear the Tory Lanez stuff out the way first. But I want people to understand this. And again, I think I'm catering to those who are of less intelligence or probably are consumed with hate more than anything else, or whatever the case may be. But if you respect the way I do research, if you respect the way I stand on credibility, then you have to understand why I go so hard at this particular case. This case for me is not about Vybz Kartel per se. It's more about Jamaica's justice system. It's more being who we are here and having done this platform for quite a few years. I've been in touch with many Vybz Kartels, as in not Vybz Kartel as in, oh, they were wealthy and famous and then they went to prison. Not Vybz Kartel as in King of Dancehall incarcerated, but Vybz Kartel as in SouFLo. I'm in here doing 25 years and I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it. But we don't have any money to afford attorney, and they just fling with any which way them want to fling with. And you know, at one point you want to say, where is the recourse? You know, if you don't have no money to fight these cases, ghetto youth and people picnic who don't have, and when we say ghetto, no other things that me mean no, like zinc fence and lane and round a back a bush. Because a country me come from, I didn't know about no zinc fence and all that. But when I say ghetto, I'm talking about a certain class of people. Because that's how you're looked at by the upper echelons, right? So when them catch you and they fling you in somewhere and you're locked up and your mommy and daddy don't have the kind of money and resources and time to pay to fight your case, say all the way up to a privy council, twice that way if they need to be, millions of dollars spent, which at the end of the day amounts to millions in US dollars. The average Jamaican don't have that. So what's going to happen to us is we're going to end up in prison as well. And this, if you follow in the Vybz Kartel trial, you will see that it is actually changing Jamaica's justice system. Watch. Now they're truly pushing for the head of state, which is the king of the UK, King Charles, to be. They're pushing now for him to be done away with, right? And of course, a lot of Jamaicans are moving off emotions and are saying, yes, get rid of the king. But they're also changing laws. Like, for instance, I didn't know it until Isaac Buchanan said it. It was in anticipation of this case that they changed, I believe it was in anticipation of this case that they changed the Bail Act, amended the Bail Act in Jamaica. And it wasn't done until November of 2023. His case just went to Privy Council. This was right before his case went to Privy Council, not too long. And of course, it went there, came back, when they went recently to try to get bail. And that's the card that the judge drew and used that card to revoke, not to revoke, but to keep in place the men who are locked up. Because they added to the Bail Act and said, it wasn't there before. They just put it there. That says, if you didn't get bail when your case originally, no, Vybz Kartel case originally went to court, what, 2014? 12 years ago, 10 years ago, the case went to court, right? 10, 12 years ago, somewhere in there. But if your case was, if you didn't get bail back then you shouldn't get bail now if your case is being appealed. That wasn't there before. So there are so many things that are changing. This is a powerful case. This is a really powerful case, right? Right. Now we're going to talk about the schooling, ISAT part and all that. Before we go into the cartel case, because I can see it's going to be very interesting this morning, let's deal with the Tory Lanez case. So, Tory Lanez, news headline says that Tory Lanez's wife has filed for divorce after less than 1 year of marriage. But she has also filed for divorce 1 year into his 10 years sentence. Who is Tory Lanez? Rapper Tory Lanez's wife. Her name is Raina Chaseng. She has filed for divorce after less than 1 year of marriage. She's 29 years old, and she filed a divorce petition last week in the court that cited irreconcilable differences as her reason for wanting to separate and finalize this thing. This is according to the documents that were obtained by TMZ. If y'all know TMZ, they're very credible. They're ran by Harvey and a bunch of other guys. Harvey is an attorney, entertainment attorney as well, and they're very up on their information and stuff, right? She filed a divorce June 10th. Now, wifey has requested sole legal and physical custody of their son, the son she has with Tory Lanez. Now, the son she has with requesting sole legal and physical custody. It makes sense because he's gonna be gone for the next 9 years. He already completed 1 year so far of incarceration Him still have 9 years to go. Their son is, if his son was 9, he'll be 18, a legal adult by the time his dad gets out, if he does his whole time. But he's 7, so he'll be 16 going on 17, which almost there. So she and Tory Lanez tied the knot on June 25th of 2023, less than 2 months before he was sentenced to 10 years in prison for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. A jury found Tory Lanez, who was 31 at the time, guilty in December of 2022 on 3 counts that were related to the July 2020 shooting and assault with a semi-automatic handgun. Remember when Megan Thee Stallion came on social media and she was like, since y'all want to know, since y'all out here running your mouth so much and you really want to know, that nigga Tory shot me. Megan Thee Stallion was not cooperating with law enforcement personnel before to bring a charge against Tory Lanez. That's why he was out here gallivanting before. But the minute she said that on live video, law enforcement took the video and they took it as her confession to who shot her. They used that to bring charges against Tory Lanez and press further with the charges. And then she started to cooperate because by then, her and Tory Lanez's relationship had gone really bad. Somebody was putting a battery in his back and telling him, yo, get on social media, diss her, say this, say that. And he would do it constantly, you know, and Meg was like, I'm over here trying to be quiet. I'm downplaying the situation. I'm a black female. I come from a black community. I know what it's like when you hear a black man with a gun and police is coming. Anybody could get shot. They had helicopters in the air over us. Y'all seen the video? She was laid out in the street, spread eagle, all these other things. So she was like, I was scared. And I was holding that information, not because she didn't want to be a snitch, but because she probably didn't want to snitch on him. But he was not taking it that way, you know, and I tried make it seem like this had nothing to do with him and it was all about her, which was damaging for her. So she just came out and said, all right, since y'all want to play games with me, that nigga Tory shot me. Sent Tory Lanez to prison. I'm surprised to this day that there are a lot of people who are still saying that Tory Lanez was set up. Listen, Tory Lanez had every chance in the world to take the stand to simply say, I did not shoot her. I did not point a gun at her. I did not pull a trigger. I did not shoot her. I'm being set up. He could have said that. It's crazy that he points a gun, shoots her, and then you have people who back him up. Like, the woman is able to stand in court and say, he shot me. Him, right there. He shot me. And people still say she's lying. Either way, right? Back to his divorce. He knew he was guilty, Wayne Core. He knew he couldn't beat it. And if you go back and watch my video, because I was following the whole thing, watch the video that I did following this. From the first video, I said, yep, Tory Lanez is going to prison because I have never heard a case where it's a young black man that fired a gun that actually shot somebody and he just walked on probation or whatever else. So he's definitely going to do some time. Well, they gave him a whole lot of time. He's lucky because the state wanted to give him, I believe, is 15 to 25 years or 25 years to something, but he ended up getting 10, which for him, that could be a career killer. Tory was hot. Pause. Tory was hot as in the industry. He was heating up. He just relinquished all deals with any major record companies. He just came into ownership of all his work, all his masters. Very few artists own all their stuff. He became the man. He was the one who was directing his videos. He was the one who was deciding when to drop a project. He was the one that was in all control of his whole stuff, his whole catalog. And then boom, this happens. This is why a lot of people were saying he was set up. Because if you know about the music industry, Most of these artists don't own their work. That's why Puffy was able to live that billionaire lifestyle that he's been living for so long, right? It was off of Notorious Big's money, Biggie, and a bunch of other people, Total, the group, and a bunch of other people. Marlon Elaine Brown, thank you for being here, family. Yes, Kai Tai Jai. Remember Tory had what something radio. That man, that was going off. He was on fire. He was on fire. And he was dropping good music. But here it goes. So to talk about his wife now, right? This man get 10 years. This man has a 7-year-old child with this woman, right? Which tells me at the time of his incarceration, this young boy was 6, which tells me that you were with the mom for at least 6 years before you went to prison, because the son is 6 at the time you are sentenced. She's now filing for sole custody for that child and a divorce at the same time. But the marriage date, he married her just a few months before he got sentenced. I don't know if that was to make it look good in court, so the judge could be like, oh, he's a businessman, he generates a lot of income, he is a family guy, he's married, he has a wife. Sounds pretty stable. I don't know if that's what the picture they were trying to paint, but I could tell you what the wife was thinking. Let me tell you something, right? this for us men. The wife was thinking, yeah, all this time because everybody knows that Tory was wild. Tory was having relations with the same girl that he shot, Megan Thee Stallion. He had relations with Megan Thee Stallion's bestie. He had relations with sexual relations with a bunch of different women in the industry. So, and his wife is sitting at home quiet. By this time, they're not legally married, but she is holding the house down, raising the child, giving you a comfortable house to come home to with no worries. She is low key. You ain't never seen her on social media shaking ass, trying to catch attention. None of that. We didn't even know about her. That's it. She was hidden from the world. So now she's like, oh, so I gave you all these years. And then when you get in trouble, you want to marry me a few months before you go off to do 10 years in prison. So I guess what? I'm supposed to like keep the coochie on lock for 10 years for you. She said, okay, she'll do it. And she did. And then 1 year passed. You know what I think? I think after the 1 year passed, she was like, can I do 9 more of these? She's like, nah, I can't do it. I can't do 9 more of these. So hence divorce. And he's getting a divorce. He was with her the whole time, but she not good enough for the public, but she was good enough to marry so he can stay in the United States. You know, I don't think it's about staying in the United States for him, because it's not like he's coming from some Caribbean island or from some far continent. He's right next door. It's in Canada. And he generates so much money in the US, it wouldn't have been hard for him to get legal paperwork to be here, green card holder. And I don't think it was about that for him and her, to stay in the US thing. I do think though that you're right, that he, she was good enough. She was good enough to be at home. She's a homebody, so she was good enough to build a house. She wasn't good enough to flip it and put her on the red carpet. He had to be seen on the red carpet with a Megan Thee Stallion. He had to be seen on the red carpet with a sex symbol. It was good for his image, right? his wife, his wife looks very homey, kind of thing. Yeah, she got tattoos and all that, but she don't look like the kind of girls. I'm sure she could though. I'm sure she could. She's very basic and stripped back, which is how most women look before they get titivated as elders Jamaicans used to say, them get titivated. I don't know what kind of word that is, but you know Jamaican people do already. But titivated mean you get made up. Nowadays, them have the hair and the mask or the makeup beat your face, the lashes, change your eye colors, the lip, this, that. If she does that, she could probably pass for one of those. But Tory wanted her home. Yeah. And I think a lot of successful men do that. They want somebody at home. Not a, a lot of successful men, they don't necessarily want the short skirt bending over for everybody to see, twerking, getting down low, obnoxious. Oh, I want some of that kind of girl for. They don't not necessarily want that at home. They don't want it around their kids. They don't want you trying to balance two different lives, right? So you're trying to do media and you're trying to do home. And it's hard sometimes to separate the two if you have a wife who craves like worldly attention kind of thing. Like she has to skin out in front of a camera. I gotta be at those events with you. I want to be seen. I want to be on the red carpet too. Like if you look at LeBron James' wife, take LeBron James' wife for example, right? She just cool and comfortable holding it down. She not making no sounds. Can't even really find her doing much on social media. She's the oil to the engine. She's the one that drives that driving force. She's the one who keeps him stabilized. You know what I mean? So when you out there fighting against the world and doing all you gotta do to provide, then you have someplace safe and someone safe to come home to. So you know you're not caught up in all the extra, all the P Diddy stuff that's going on in the wild parties and in the back dark rooms and all that other stuff. You're cut. You go home, and it's saving you because nobody could call your name later on. Ain't no lawsuits coming later on. None of that. So men who are successful usually want that. They usually want the homebody wife. But I think Tory's wife is I think she's resentful. You know, now that he's gone and the train isn't moving so fast anymore, I think she's had time to think now. And now she's like, so all them years you was with me, I wasn't good enough for you to marry me. But I know I said yes. But you married me a few months before you got a 10-year sentence. And now you want me to sit at home and wait for you for 10 years till you come back. Nah, it's okay. You know what? Take back the ring. We gonna do this like this. I want full custody of the child. Hell, he's incarcerated. How they gonna share custody? So, and he's just gonna have to pay. He's just gonna have to pay for that. So, message of the day is what? Value her, right? Value her. Don't wait till last minute till you feel like, oh, it's the end of life. Now you want to talk about will you marry me? You know, value her from the beginning. I'm not saying you have to go show your wife every day, all the time to the world and profess that this is your wife, but nobody knew Tory was married. That's the thing. And that has to hurt a woman. That has to hurt any woman would have hurt. Worse if she's like a Caribbean. Me no say no Jamaican woman couldn't do that. A Caribbean woman is not playing that. You listen up. I understand what you do for a living, right? I understand all your business and everything, but check this out. You over there gallivant with the girl them like say you single and free. You single and ready to mingle. Me see you catch up on that one day over there, so. Me see you upon Megan Thee Stallion over here, so. Me see you and she lock up in a room and do quarantine live video. Me see you know skin out on bed. Which part of this went from acting to reality? Hear my man. And nobody no knows that you married. So I am what? Me a cockroach. Keep me in the dark. When it come, it's not gonna work. No Caribbean woman would have let that work. So I think that's when she was resentful at. Nobody knew about her. Period. Yeah. You might get away with that with some other culture, but if you're married to a Caribbean woman, me no business which island she come from, and definitely not a Jamaican woman. That now gonna fly. Hello, hi, yeah. Where I come from? Me see you on the last time. Matter of fact, you come home at your door, you can't open your door, one bag of something start. Soon as you reach into the house, whole heap of headache, you can't go sleep, you lay down, so you don't go get. Hello, hi. What is? What is? What is this? What? Babe, just cool no man. There's a little party with the girl. You know the industry thing go already. What? What? No, what is this? It's not gonna fly. Not gonna fly. So she feel like Tory used her, and now at his most desperate moments, she's the one who has to hold it down. She's like, hold this divorce. Oh, it's a whole lot of good stuff out here. Hold this divorce. I only hope she don't pass around herself though, you know? Now that everybody knows who she is. Because she wasn't known before until yesterday. And now that TMZ has her pictures all over the place, ooh, some people in the industry that's dark. They're gonna be like, yo, that's Tory Lanez's wife. I'm trying to smash before homie comes home. Her phone's gonna be ringing. She's gonna be getting approached. Hey, you want to do this interview? Talk about your time with Tory. Talk about being married to Tory Lanez. What is it like? Who are you seeing now? Why did you file for a divorce? I don't know if y'all know it, but a lot of these podcast interviews that you see, a lot of people make a lot of money just doing the interviews. Yeah, especially if you get on large platforms like a Vlad TV. They $10,000 for an interview. So she might be out here chasing her own money and end up being famous before he even gets back home. Weird world. Weird world. So leave from early. When Corsair, leave leave from early. Come on, boss. Why add the drama? Remember the good times. Wait, Corsair, remember the good times. Grand Rising, SouFLo, and everyone. Them woman here now remember no good times. Win court. If you end up in a situation like that, them now remember no good times. You hear that? It's just gonna be straight drama feel. Yeah, man. Remember when you did out there a ramp and you ramp rough too? Yeah, the girl Keisha from next door. I can't believe so you even go next door. Next door, you're nasty, you know, next door, you know. I'm still forgive you, you know, next door. That dirty girl there have to looking at my face every day me have to see her. And she have push up her chest like she did own you. You know how embarrassing that was, Marcus? Do you know how embarrassing that was? You ever slip after you do nothing like that? And then you'll find out if your woman don't know revenge. I just fear time for revenge now. It's her time. He gonna feel it. He gonna feel it. The man has to go earn the bread. The man has to go earn the bread, but he could have keep him feeling and pants. That's the part. And he didn't have to hide his wife. That's the part. Why do you have to tell the world you're single without telling the world you're single, knowing you have a wife? Knowing the kind of music that Tory does, Tory Lanez has a lot of female fans, okay? I mean, I talk about giddy-headed, young 20s, like 20, 19, 18 to 23. That age group there, Tory Lanez female fans. His panties flying on the stage, his bra, they running after him when he goes to do shows. He could pick and choose who he wants in the limo, who gets to ride in the Rolls Royce. We heading back to the hotel for an after party. Those parties are wild. And your wife sitting at home knowing exactly what you're doing. And then you come home with a straight face. Ah, and you've been doing it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And now you in trouble and you got to go do 10 years in prison. Now she got time to think. Now she got time to think. The big, broad back, chisel up chest boy with a six-pack will work out every day. He's looking at her right now. And she been looking at him. But she was Xing him for you. No, I'm a good wife. I'm loyal. I have a husband. My husband is Tory Lanez. And he over there the whole time like, Tory don't even claim you. You know? Not now. Him have talk now. And now she have playtime now. Right? So now she like, been through that twice in my lifetime. No, when I hear marriage, I get panic attacks. Wait, so I've been through that twice in my lifetime. I know when you hear marriage, you get panic attack. I still have no loyalty no more. I say no loyalty no more. I saw. You rough out there, man. But marriage is a road. Where, boy, if you decide, like the great, whoever said that, must be great. They said marriage is an institution. If you enjoy being in an institution, if you enjoy being institutionalized, then, you know, just like prison and school and all these other, that's marriage. That's marriage. All right. You know, we said enough about Tory. We wish Tory all the best. It's not nice having to do 10 years. And I honestly think when you're young and when you young, right? And you come into millions of dollars at a young age and nobody could tell you nothing. Millions at a young age. And now you're suddenly this big star who everybody who is a star wants to work with or wants to sign. Now you're in the Hollywood Hills, going to Kim Kardashian's sister's house, and Kim Kardashian lives next door, and the Jenners and whoever else. That could be a lot. You know, according to Tory, let me close out just like this. According to Tory said, because we heard the voice confessions, Tory said, man, I was messed up before I even got to that party. If y'all don't know it, the incident that happened that night that led to him having to do this 10 years, they were at, I believe, Kylie Jenner's house, which is Kim Kardashian's younger sister house. It was a pool party. And they said that Megan Thee Stallion was getting upset because Tory Lanez was getting wrapped up with the host of the party, with her party. And she was like, you came with me. You know, it's embarrassing. Like, I'm a star. I'm Megan Thee Stallion. You came with me. They weren't supposed to be a couple because Meg was hiding it. Like, no, we not sexing. We just cool like that. But in a private setting, it's like, man, you know when your side piece are cheap, and your heart broke because your side piece are cheap. But your side piece is like, get off me. You got somebody, right? Where you just want me to stay up on the side and be. So it was one of them situations. But Tory said, listen, it was so much drugs and alcohol at that party. You had to take 4 shots just to get in. Everybody at the door had to do 4 shots. Well, in the army, when we go out drinking, we had a thing called 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor. Not 4, floor. FLOOR. So that means that they were having a kind of party where they wanted everybody in there to be on a certain kind of vibe, right? The man said he got there messed up already. He was already tooting and booting, and he got to the door and had to take 4 to get in. By the time he got in there, he don't know what the hell happened the night. And this is where they were like, well, you were pointing the gun at Megan, talking about dance, bitch, dance, bah, bah, just letting off shots, telling her, dance, dance. They got into an argument in the car and started comparing careers. And she was like, you're not even that good of a, you know, he's like, you're not even that good of an artist anyways. You can't really rap. And she got upset and they start fighting, and well, one thing led to another. Those were the confessions. At the end of the day, I think it was a situation where young people got in over their heads, a lot of drugs and alcohol involved, and he did something stupid, and now he's paying for it. So the message in that is, be careful what you're doing out here, man. And not only get drunk at home. If I'm gonna get tipsy, it has to be at home or it has to be in the company of somebody I completely trust. But you can't just be out here wilding. But that cost him 10 years of his life, right? Now, we wish Tory all the best doing his 10 years, and hopefully when he gets back, he can actually make a comeback. In the meantime, he's a good songwriter, so I'm sure he'll probably be making money because them can send you, you know, through the mail or whatever. From prison, you can write songs. and people can make a whole lot of money off those songs and put money in your account until you come home. So it's not like he's going to be broke or anything. He's rich, and he's probably going to be richer, just probably not as famous. Every 5 years, a new generation come about, and they're asking, "Who's this?" You know, that's my mama music. That's old music. That's every 5 to 7 years. The next generation come, not 10, 5 to 7 years. That's old. Could you imagine an 18-year-old? 18-year-old says, they used to play that when I was 9. That's old music to them. Why are you trying to play that old music? I was a little kid when that came out. You sound like what music sounded like when I was 9 years old. We ain't vibing to that. Right. So him doing 10, he's gonna have to recreate. It's every 3 years now, I would say. And with dancehall music, it's every 6 months. It's every 3 to 6 months with dancehall music. All right. And saying dancehall music now, we segue right into the crucifixion. This is the crucifixion in process, the attempt to crucify Vybz Kartel in process. Yesterday, the hearing was supposed to start because it was advertised that it would start on the 10th at the Court of Appeal. Well, there was a hiccup because already straight out the gate, the DPP, Department of Public Prosecution, those representatives, they already came in with issues, right? So preliminary issues have to be heard and sorted out before a case can actually go forward. Today, they will get into the meat of the matter and actually start with the real issues. What was the holdup yesterday? And I wasn't surprised that the DPP is doing everything they can to delay this case. This case is deep. We're talking about the Vybz Kartel case now. I want people to fully understand what's going on, because a lot of people don't have time to listen. So them just jump in the comment section and say stuff like, man, you don't love Cartel so much. You must love him more than all your mother. You love him more than your children. You love him more than your wife. They don't understand that this is not about that. This is about law and out the state of our justice system. See, so one, now here we sit, right? I'm saying the crucifixion has begun. I want to point out a couple of things soon. I said it before, and I'll say it again. My analogy, when the Privy Council in England sent Vybz Kartel's case back to Jamaica, to the appeal court, remember the analogy that I drew up? I said, if I took my car to a mechanic and my car had, remember the mechanic that used to say carburetor? Okay, let's use that. My car had a carburetor issue. And my mechanic fixed the carburetor issue, but frig up the alternator so that I had to come back again, because he's one of those mechanics that say, well, if me fix the car too good, you know, I'm not gonna see you again. I mean, I have bills to pay. So the more you bring the car come for me fixes, the more I can earn to pay my bills and maintain my lifestyle. It only makes sense. But I found out. In other words, him frig up the job and did some shady stuff. Why would I take my car back to that same mechanic again? And I use that as an analogy to say that they purposely frigged up Vybz Kartel's case on every level from the beginning of this. So when Privy Council sent it back to them, I was like, oh my God, they're sending it back to the same people that frigged it up in the first place. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. For one, they're embarrassed. They were embarrassed when the law lords said, why is this before us? Could this not have been handled in Jamaica, at the appeal level at least, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing because it passed the original trial. I explained this to them before. The original trial with one judge, mistake. Then it went to an appeal board, 3 more judges, passed them too. Ended up at Privy Council where they had to point out this mistake. And it was such a grave mistake. The law lord said, we can't go past this one. There were other grounds to vacate that conviction, but this is the main one that we cannot get past this one. They were embarrassed. So big dirty thinking dread boy Isaac Buchanan carry go all the way at Privy Council. This ninja who come from a dirty Rasta man, because trust me, that's how they look at them. Yeah, a dirty Rasta man. Big up to the legendary Big Youth. Me say, Andrew Holness met Big Youth in the airport and stood up beside him and took a picture with him. Then he was talking about a national icon. Yeah, this is Isaac Buchanan's dad, a national icon. Mr. Look for Andrew. I try gain votes for election, getting some election mileage out of it. But it's a gold teeth Rastaman picnic, right? His daddy is legendary in reggae music. Rastaman from back in the day till now. Hard to call an hardcore Rastaman to not know, oh, he got some dreads, right? A youth will go prison more than once. And then he was the face of rehabilitation. You know, I see a lot of Jamaicans talk about, oh, if they go to prison already, should I never be able to even be a lawyer? Are you crazy? Is that what you want? You want any of your children them to make a mistake in their young life and then never have a chance to elevate above anything because of that one mistake they made? Or do you want to see them become the face of rehabilitation? Because to me, that's what Isaac Buchanan is. But that dirty boy, they will carry them go all the way over so in front of their superiors and embarrass the shit out of them. Now they're like, yo, vengeance. They want vengeance. This is why I'm starting this off by saying this is the attempted crucifixion of Vybz Kartel. On the walk with my words, watch what I'm going to say to you because it's going to paint a clear picture for you. You won't misunderstand after this. All right. They want a retrial, right? I'm just going to go down my notes. They want a retrial. Paula Llewellyn made it clear from day one. Yep, and we're seeking a retrial. She didn't even budge. And knowing all along that she wasn't even supposed to be in the position she's in and how she was maintaining it. You notice she's not there anymore, right? Okay. That doesn't stop anything. One monkey don't stop no show. That's a saying. I'm not calling her a monkey. I'm just saying it's an old saying. One monkey don't stop no show. Meaning if we're in a group of 5 and one leave, the job must continue. The show must go on. So somebody else will pick up and carry on, right? Paula will be pulling her strings from behind the scenes. Nobody can tell me different. This is my personal opinion, and I'm making it clear that I didn't read this anywhere, as in anywhere credible. I haven't spoken to anybody credible to validate this. This is my thoughts. SouFLoTV, this is SouFLo's thoughts. Paula Llewellyn will be pulling the strings from behind the scenes. She is the superior. She's been in that position for a long time. Nobody can just come overnight and just take over her whole. They are calling her for her expertise. They're meeting with her for her expertise. They want to hear what direction she thinks to push this in. And they're still going to be. So basically, she's in control without being in control because she is no longer the head of the DPP, Department of Public Prosecution, but she is in the shadows, right? So let's talk about this. They had to fight all the way to Privy Council for Privy Council to tell them that a mistake was made so big that you guys can't, the conviction you gave them cannot stand. Have to vacate that conviction. All right, we get it. It looks like Jamaica's justice system is setting this up for them to have to go all the way to Privy Council again. Either because they want to stretch this as long as they can, exhaust Vybz Kartel and the rest of the guys' resources, because it's not no little bananas and peanuts take this all the way to the Privy Council. You understand? I'm sure a lot of them are trying to figure out where does he get all this from? Who is helping him? Is he generating this much cash really? Damn. Okay, well, we are going to drain him. In the meantime, we are going to drug him. In the meantime, he getting sick. He has an autoimmune disease. He's getting sick and sicker behind bars. Hopefully, in the process, his ass will die behind bars. Then we could just say, well, he died of natural causes. I know we kill him. They go back to retrial, right? The Court of Appeals. If the Court of Appeals says, granted, just so everybody understands where they're at right now, what will begin today, which is the 11th of the 6th, what will begin today is the argument to decide if there should be a retrial or if there should be an acquittal completely. The three panel, the three judges on the panel, they will hear this. DPP has to come in and make a good case. Why? Isaac Buchanan and the rest of the attorneys representing the rest of the guys will have to then rebuttal all that and make a good case as to why there shouldn't be a retrial. At the end of the day, the three judges will decide retrial or, you know what, acquittal. I'll be upfront with y'all right now and tell you that they're going to grant a retrial. And you know why I know they're going to grant a retrial? Stick around for it. You notice I never missed on the other one. When the judge said, you will be schooled tomorrow in the ruling. And I came before she made the decision and I said to my audience, she not granting no bail. Listen to her tone and the words she used. Only Isaac Buchanan she could be talking to. And if she plans to school him tomorrow, that means your client's not getting out, not on my dime. And so said, so done. So some people was like, yo, SouFLo, you lick the one upon the head. How you saw that coming? How you know? Listen to what the words they use. They're going to grant a retrial. This is a systematic thing. They are all in cahoots with this. But wait, walk with this. So they go back to trial, right? And the retrial is granted. Okay, here comes all the crazy evidence that people are going to be talking about. Let's start out with the phone. The phone. The forensic experts finding on that phone. The fact that when Privy Council accepted Vybz Kartel's case to hear it, the Privy Council has a window open of time that you have to submit to them all the stuff that you want to be considered, right? So Isaac Buchanan submitted like the jury misconduct, submitted what was the other one? A trampling of their constitutional rights violation, submitted. Any one of these could possibly be what they would use to overturn the verdict, right? Right. It goes back here again. This is what DPP did on purpose. While that window was open, they held on to the phone. So Isaac them could not get an independent forensic expert to go through that phone and come back and say, no, the phone is good. Nobody tampered with it. Whatever they got from it is valid. Or would say, this phone is heavily tampered with. They knew that if that went to Privy Council, just between the juror misconduct and then that with the phone, they probably would have been completely acquitted at Privy Council. Yeah, pay attention, watch me. This is a violation of your constitutional rights. By the way, Jamaican people, your constitution says if you are charged for a crime and they're going to use this as an evidence against you, you and your defense team need to have access to this. So you and your defense team can mount a proper defense against this piece of evidence that they plan to use against you. I want y'all to go do your own research and find out how many years it took for them to allow Vybz Kartel's team access to that phone. Just go do it. And then I want you to do your research and find out what the, no, I'm not going to tell you, but you can still go do your research and find out what the digital forensic expert said. I'm laying my professional reputation on the line, right? Digital forensic expert said that phone was heavily tampered with. Data was moved around and reconfigured in that phone. There were things in places that could not possibly have been in those places had it been in a proper sequence that it was supposed to be. And the man not only said tampered, he said not only was it tampered with, it was heavily tampered with. All right. I want you to understand what happened to the phone, which is the big question. And this them want to bring back to a retrial is not going to stand. A police officer, and I want you all to ask them 3-panel judge there and the rest of them, where is the police officer who took the phone from the evidence room? Where art thou? That's not standard procedure. You don't you notice from every crime scene, you bag evidence, they tag and date evidence, they put evidence in evidence room until evidence, and they use gloves, because you can't leave no extra fingerprint on evidence, and dust it down on all this, and it's placed in the evidence room until it's ready to be presented at trial or to the parties involved, right? A police officer took that phone. A police officer took the phone home out of the evidence room. Just like how they knew about the juror that was there trying to bribe other jurors, the police officer, they knew about him too from day one. How do we know? Because the judge asked him, why did he do it? That means they all knew. The judge asked the police officer, why did you take the phone from the evidence room and took it home with you? The police officer said, because something about his credit, him run out of credit on theme phone, and he had to make a phone call. When asked what he did with the phone, he said, I only made one phone call. Digital forensic expert says different. A lot of stuff happened with that phone. Not only that, we know a lot of stuff happened with that phone. You know how we know? Because at the time that Vybz Kartel was incarcerated, when he first got arrested, it was a big deal. And then we saw on social media a lot of pictures coming out. Hood in a mouth picture, yellow skin out pan body picture. Cartel was, give it to him, he was wild and he was out there with the girls, the women, right? So all these personal pictures were being released to the public. And it was being released to the public from this man's phone. Now, we were asking ourselves, how was it being released to the public when he's incarcerated right there? Them have him. Which part of him phone there? And then we heard the phone was removed by a police officer, used brought back, put back in the evidence room. This is the phone that they're taking as a big piece of evidence and probably the main piece of evidence that led to a conviction. And if you understand that. Yared Archer, big up yourself. Yared Archer says Sir P wants people to believe that the phone was tampered on Cartel's behalf. Then why were the images released? Listen, I guess everybody has their own stable of people who believe whatever they say or whatever. But I do due diligence and speak only facts. Okay, I don't have to hide my face and come over here in a low voice like this. I want the people, and I'm whatever I say to you, you can go look it up, and you will find it to be factual. See, so not even bring some people name over here, fam, because I don't want to be mixed up in when them have a go on, right? They're like number one arch nemesis something. Move them from over here, so. But big up yourself though, Yared Archer. I get what you're saying. Now, I want you to understand this based on your comment, Yared. I want you to understand this. Everything that went wrong in that whole thing, they blame Cartel. For example, when the house burnt down and then was bulldozed completely, my first question was, did they get a forensic team into that house? Because prosecution says a man was bludgeoned to death with a pickaxe stick and a pickaxe in that house. I said, oh my, it must be a bloody scene in that house. Nobody could possibly clean up so good that a professional forensic team would not be able to gather not 1 ounce of evidence. Did they get one in that house? You know what they came out and said? Cartel send him goons, them go burn down the house. Right. Then they bulldozed the house completely. I said, but the house wasn't completely burnt down. You know, a forensic team could have been through other parts of the house. Yeah, well, the people in the community were complaining that, you know, it's an upper kind of community, and the people them was saying it's a eyesore in their community, so the government had to get rid of it. Right. Blame him for this again. The juror. Do you all know that the woman who accused the guy of trying to bribe them, they asked her for evidence. Somewhere out there, they produced some kind of a voice of a conversation that, however that went, it went. They asked her for the phone that she recorded it on. She said, yes, I'm going to turn it into you. The next time they asked her, how come you haven't turned the phone in yet? We need the phone with the voice note, right? Because we don't have it no more. She said she went to New York on a shopping trip and she left the phone on a countertop and somebody stole it. Somewhere in Brooklyn or something, she did say she did a shop. Fly out of the country and went shopping in the US and left my phone on a counter and somebody stole it. And then the same juror who they kept all the way through to make the decision, guilty or innocent, when the trial was done, they ended up trying him for jury misconduct and ended up imprisoning him after. So his participation in the jury process was good enough to secure a conviction, but after he needed imprisonment. That don't make no sense neither, but that's all that they did. So everything is blamed back on Cartel, right? I him tamper with the jury, I him burn down the house, I him send a construction company go bulldoze the house, is him doing everything that they do, they blame it back on him. Right. Watch this. So the police officer took the phone. The judge knew that the police officer took the phone. Paula Llewellyn them knew, DPP knows, everybody knows the police officer took the phone. That is a piece of evidence that should have never been even admitted into evidence. The judge admitted it into evidence regardless. But guess what? We know now that this judge not only admitted that into evidence, a tampered phone, but he also agreed with Paula Llewellyn and not the defense attorneys that this case needs to stop right here. We might need to get a fresh set of jurors because that's what the law says. That's the reason they went to Privy Council and the conviction got overturned or shut down or quashed. So it's not the first time that this man, this judge, agree with Paula to do something, or should I keep saying Paula, but DPP, to do something that was against. You admit that piece of inadmissible evidence. You also push forward even after discovering there was a tampered juror, or there was a juror who was fouling up the jury pool then. You see, there's a chain of things here. And they made up their minds that they were going to work together to secure a conviction no matter what. Even the jury misconduct. After that, them sentenced the man. Phone just suddenly lost in New York on a shopping trip. So they have no hard evidence against them, but they sentenced him anyways. You know why they're also bitter? Get this. Pay attention. After the Privy Council said that conviction cannot stand, quashed it. We all know what quash means now, right? That conviction cannot stand. Guess what happened next? Did y'all see the one where it says King Charles said? I tell them about one time in England, and the letter came in, they pushed it through the door, and it says, at the Queen's request, you are ordered to leave the UK, or you will be forced, or we will be forced to deport you. Comedy overstay me welcome, because England did nice, no rather than I didn't want to leave, right? So I'm thinking, damn, the Queen knows about little old me? You serious? I might want to buy my ticket and go home, right? But anyhow, King Charles' order says that the Jamaican government must pay for Vybz Kartel's appeal process, that the Privy Council appeal process. The Jamaican government will pay for that. That's more embarrassment. Hold up. So not only did I say take y'all all the way there, the cartel them fight you all the way there, and secured a quashed verdict. Now they're making you pay for all of it. Oh, more vendetta. Now they steaming mad. Who these people think they are? We're going to show them. We are going to show. Trust me, they're conspiring. They're behind the scenes right now. They're huddled together. They're gathered up. They're conspiring. They're like, oh, can't make this go so. Come on, man. This is our system. Jojo, how many years have you put into this? Miss Sharika, how many years have you put into this? This is our system. Frig what the Privy Council says. This is Jamaica. That's why we can't wait to get rid of them and get them off of our thing and remove the royal family as head of state. This is why. Because if we make this for our last word, then this will be our last word. No, we have to go back to them people here. Embarrassed. Embarrassed. Now, this kind of reminds me of a bad friggin' divorce. A woman take man to court, man is rich, millionaire. Not only does she secure half of everything he's ever worked for, even stuff that he had before he even met her, him lose the house to her, because she have the two pick to them. And then on top of that, the judge orders him to pay for her top lawyers that she used to sue him. Go figure. That's embarrassing. Retrial, phone evidence, forensic expert finding. Forced to go to Privy Council again? Jury misconduct, tampered evidence. Privy Council will throw this Ross out the next time it sees it again. On the phone evidence, first first Privy Council threw it. So I am telling the 3-panel judges, if you mean Jamaica any well, do not force this to go back to Privy Council, because if we did embarrassed before, we're not going to be double embarrassed this time. They threw it out based on jury misconduct. I never waste my breath just now explaining the tampered evidence with that phone and the digital forensic experts finding of that phone. They're going to throw it out again based on that. Right. So now go get double embarrassment, and then you're going to have another case to pay for again. Remember, I know King Charles said, you must pay for this one. Not Cartel, uno. So you guys are going to have to reimburse those guys all the money they spent to fight you all the way to don't look good. Now, this is how I know that they're going to grant a retrial. Remember, pay attention. Remember when the judge at the Superior Court, because we're all learning today, the Superior Court is just below the Court of Appeals. It was the Superior Court that ISAT went to try to get bail for the guys. That's where he learned that they had amended the Bail Act in Jamaica, November of 2023, and they were able to use that. Plus, the Superior Court judge said her court at her level shouldn't be touching that because it's still in the grasp of a Superior Court, which is the Court of Appeals. Okay, fair enough. We'll give her that. Remember when she said, you will be schooled. See, all ISAT did, right? And some people are saying, him chat too much. Him go in front of judge and talk about school me. Like say, I know, big tough nothing. Humble yourself, boy. You're supposed to say, what the hell? What y'all expect this man to do? Look down at the ground? Act like he has no friggin' huevos? Act like he's not a man? Act like he is not intelligent? Why should he humble himself, which means the word humble yourself means humble, means to make yourself more insignificant than others around you, to make yourself seem less off than you are. Why should he do that when we're dealing with law? We're not dealing with egos. We're dealing with law, right? Well, we're supposed to be, but a lot of egos been hurt throughout this, and they want revenge. So Isaac was saying, you know, there's a kahuna in the law, meaning there's like a loophole there in the law, which would, Your Honor, place it squarely in your court. So you have the power to say, okay, since we've gotten this far, release them then. You could even release them on conditions, even though as their attorney, I would like for them to not be released on conditions. That's what a good attorney does. They try to get you the best. If them can't get you the best, you settle for what come next. But you don't try to get your client to end up getting the worst, right? Right. So he was like, Isaac basically said, Your Honor, there is nothing even written in law yet, or even thought of in Parliament yet. So if there is, then I don't know about it. So please school me. That's why I'm here. That sounds as humble as it gets. That tells me your knowledge as a judge is superior to mine. And I respect your knowledge as a judge. So from all that I've studied, I don't see anything that should be holding them in there. So if you see it, please school me. That's all he said. But her answer was ego. Well, you will be schooled tomorrow. That tells me that she already decided then and there, because she could have never said you will be schooled tomorrow. That's like me saying to you, now fuck you up tomorrow when we see you here. That means I may decide today. So when we see you tomorrow, I freed you up tomorrow. That's how I knew she was going to make that decision. Now, walk with that same chain of language. Here comes Jamaica Gleaner today. School is in session. That's the headline. School is in session. Now I'm going to visit the article that was printed, right? It says school has started. Okay, why are we still continuing the same school language? It's because they are bent on schooling somebody again. Oh, no, no, hear me. This is how I know they've already made up their minds that they're going to grant a friggin' retrial. Not even here, nothing yet. And look for nothing yet. And yes, Gleaner and all of them, they're a part of it. They are at the mercy of whoever run the show behind the scenes. This is their platform, what they use to put out what they want to go out, if you don't know that. So here we go. School has started. That's the declaration from Justice Marva McDonald Bishop, as she warned the media to observe court rules in covering a hearing on whether entertainer Vybz Kartel and 3 other men should be retried for murder. Why the frig she come now and start out with school has started? ISAT said, if you know, please tell me, school me, because I've studied, I've looked everywhere, I can't find it. She said, you will be schooled. That's where the school come from. ISAT said, school me because I couldn't find something. I respect your knowledge. You might know way more than I do. You've been in this longer than I have, right? School me. She said, you will be schooled tomorrow. Now here comes her counterparts saying, school has started. Watch the language. Watch the language. Never wrong enough. School has started. So the hearing started in the Court of Appeal and is expected to last for about 5 days, right? McDonald Bishop, which is this judge, who said school has started, along with Justice Paulette Williams and David Frazier, they will decide the case. Stop right there before I go anywhere. I did a video, and on the video, I put up the face of the judge that told Isaac Buchanan, you will be schooled tomorrow. The 4 or 5 dum-dum them that came on the channel and said, take down the lady effing picture. Why you put her F a beard? Please understand this, right? I'm a nice person. But we keep on to tell people this. I'm a Jamaican too. So watch your tone when you talk to me. Because I watch my tone when I talk to you. So nobody come with your effing this and your effing that, and in clean words, why did you put the judge's picture up for all to see who she is? Hello. The judge is a public figure. The judge is a public figure. The judge's picture is everywhere already. How you think me get it? I just did my little research. I just went the one extra step that the other persons who you listen to didn't go. That's it. I actually went and looked for who this person was, but it wasn't hard to find her. I wasn't looking for her before because we never knew about her before, and she didn't have anything to do with anything before. But the minute she dropped in at the picture, just like how I can go find the rest of them, and I'll show you who they are. But they're public figures. So nobody is trying to intimidate anybody. That's what somebody said. Nobody is trying to intimidate anybody. Nobody is trying to send gunmen after nobody. Nobody is trying to expose anybody. They are public figures. The funny thing is, when Chief Justice Sykes was doing the Klansman One Dan Gang trial, and I used Chief Justice Sykes' picture 100 times, none of you said nothing. None of you said anything. Chief Justice Sykes didn't seem like he was ruling in your favor. He didn't seem like he was crucifying enough of them. When you never like him, when you start say, oh, they're paying him and he's in bad man pocket. When all along Chief Justice Sykes was trying to educate the Jamaican people by saying, police have to do better investigation. Jamaica investigators have to do better processing of crime scenes and better how they preserve evidence. That way we can actually get convictions. Because yes, we do have arrests, but the conviction rate is low. He even went as far as to say, come on, man, somebody got killed in modern times. You walk in my courtroom and tell me that. And you just expect me to just take your word. SouFLo said John killed Steve Outer Road. And I'm supposed to do what now? SouFLo said John killed Steve. So I'm supposed to just slam my gavel and give John life? Because SouFLo said it's modern times. We need way more than that. There is no pictures. There is no audio. This is actually something that happened there in that trial that Chief Justice Sykes was talking about. They said that one man killed one next man out in the road and the body was there, laying there for however long. And the judge says, in a time like this, when social media, everything, and everybody have a phone, you tell me, say, nobody even run up and say, yo, look on this and take a picture. Okay, who came and got the body from the scene? Them don't know. Okay, where did the body go? What morgue, what place? Them don't know. Okay, so how do I as a judge know that that person actually got killed? Because they're missing since that day. Oh, it's kind of sound like Vybz Kartel case, right? Because he's missing since that day. All right then. Back to this. I want you to fully understand. The judge added, remember, the judge started out by saying, school has started. Same school language again. If that ain't telling to you, I don't know what is. The judge added, she said that the court recognizes persons' right to freedom of expression, but while you report, she said that you cannot comment in any way that would cast any aspersion on the integrity of the court and the purity of the proceedings. This is the judge speaking to the media personnel who will be covering this. So them basically them can't say nothing bad and they can't have no personal opinion. Even if them say nothing wrong, your delivery better not have the public thinking the process is not pure and the court's integrity is not intact. That sounds like a dictatorship, but okay. Justice McDonald Bishop said that while we have allowed in this country and in the world at large, social media in particular, to run wild, it is the provider of the information who will be held liable for contempt of court, which they have all in their rights to do, right? Now, the issue of pre-trial publicity is among the arguments to be raised by the defense, the judge noted. The court is currently confirming the documents that were filed in the matter before the substantive argument starts. So the substantive argument starts today. This was yesterday. The Office of the Department of Public Prosecution, or DPP, they're pushing for a retrial while the accused are arguing against that. Acting DPP Claudette Thompson is in court. Now, among the considerations for a retrial are the availability of witnesses. Do we have any witnesses who are around, who were involved in the first trial, who we're able to find again for a second trial? And will they come and keep the same story? Well, this is going to get shut down again because the one witness what them did have came out and said, recanted his story later and said, the police them beat me and make me say what them did want me to say. Even while me did I tell them something else, them beat me till me say what them did want to say. Me fi say. So we'll see where this goes. So among the consideration for a retrial are the availability of witnesses, any prejudice to the accused, whole heap of prejudice already exists to the accused, but we'll see how they handle that again. The interest of justice and what is in the public interest. Those are among the things to be considered for a retrial. Now, referencing to schooling came recently in a Supreme Court case in which a judge said that she would school lawyers who applied for Vybz Kartel and 2 other co-accused to be released. See? The lawyer Isaac Buchanan was the first one to use the term school. See? So they're very well aware of the language themselves. They try to explain it here to you as well. If it never mean nothing, they wouldn't be trying to explain it to you in long form. The court rejected that application on May 30th, and here we are on June 11th going through the actual appeal. Now, the Privy Council overturned their guilty verdict, making them no longer convicted criminals. They were returned to being citizens who were accused and charged. And I've already done my due diligence by digging up a long list of names in 2024 alone who were charged in Jamaica with murder and then who have gotten bail. Some people don't listen too good, because when I spoke about the politician's brother who got caught with the 660,000 US dollars worth of cocaine, 12 kilos at Norman Manley International Airport, and when I spoke about the attorney, Messi Masado, because that's what I call her, I wasn't speaking about them committing murder and getting bail, or being charged with murder and getting bail. The names I called were all names in that video. Any one of you could go look up. These are all cases that happened in 2024, men who the state had enough evidence to charge them with murder, yet they got bail. Wait for this to know. The 2 people I used, they got out on the status of their health, which is what a part of why the Privy Council expedited Vybz Kartel's case in the first place, and also which is why it was expected at the lower level in Jamaica to be expedited as well, because there's a health issue there. So for the people them who hate Cartel so much we can't see law, that are saying, oh, so him better than any other prisoner was sick, him fit in there, then explain to me how these people who I'm telling you about were able to get bail based on their health condition. The Chin guy that was caught with 12 kilos of cocaine, they said his kidney was failing and he needs dialysis. His brother is a sitting member of parliament. But to his brother's credit, his brother came out and said, you know, that's my brother, of course. We are from that family. We have the same father. You know, when them call big name at Jamaican, them used to be like Issa, Matalan, Chin, them name there. Well, we're from that Chin family. Well connected, you might add. However, I didn't grow up with this brother.